Movie starts and a very disturbing movie named The Human Centipede is shown on television. Bill is a jail's warden and a man named Butler is his accountant. Butler shows this movie to his boss, but he doesn't like it much. Bill's secretary says that she liked this movie a lot. Bill scolds her harshly and asks her to leave his office. In fact, Bill was a psychopath person and couldn't handle prisoners in jail. Prisoners didn't respect Bill. Therefore, to instill fear in them, he was very cruel to them. Bill's phone rings and he gets to know that a prisoner has attacked his junior officer. Hearing this, Bill goes to lockup area. On the way, the accountant Butler informs him that there isn't much money in his account. If these prisoners continue to do such violence and fighting each other, their medical cost will increase. And it may also be possible that your job will be gone. Bill ignores him. As soon as he reaches the lockup area, prisoners start making fun of him. He vents all of his anger on the prisoner, who injured his junior officer. He bends his arm so hard that it breaks his arm, and the bone of his elbow can be seen. On which the prisoner shouts and all other prisoners start abusing Bill again and deliver bad words. Bill comes to his office and is very worried due to his insult. He thinks of new ways of punishing prisoners. He thinks to hang them upside down and leave worms on their bodies. But Butler warns him again about the huge expenditure on their medical treatment. Only then does his secretary bring him a parcel imported from Africa. There was something strange in this parcel that made him feel powerful after eating it. On the other hand, Bill's phone rings and someone threatens him a lot. Bill gets afraid, but then it turns out that this is the deed of a prisoner. He finds the prisoner and catches him. He puts a cloth over his face and puts 3 buckets of very hot water on his face. This causes his face to burn and his skin to stick to the cloth, which Bill put on his face. When the government hears this news, a governor warns Bill's in jail that, "I give you 2 weeks. After it, I'll come and everything should get normal. But if that doesn't happen, he'll fire him." Saying this, he goes away. As soon as he leaves, he gets very angry and calls all the prisoners in the yard. He takes one of the prisoners to the prison and takes out some of his body parts with a hot knife. He sends these to cook for lunch and surprisingly, he eats these in lunch too. After it, Bill goes for a round of hospital and goes to the same prisoner whose face he had poured water on. Bill pulls out his bandage to see his burnt face, due to which his skin is stretched again and he starts crying with pain. In the evening, Bill and Butler discuss methods of torturing prisoners in order to make them fearful of him. Butler says, "Why don't we turn prisoners into human centipede like this movie The Human Centipede? His lips should be sewn with the back of others so that no prisoner can create disturbance again. No money will be wasted on their food or medical treatment too. It will also have the advantage that all the prisoners will stay on their knees and will respect you." But he doesn't like this idea and asks him to go away after insulting him. Bill is so worried because of the behavior of the prisoners and keeps drinking alcohol. In the night, he sees a dream that all prisoners have attacked him and are taking revenge on him. After this dream, he gets afraid and orders to meet the director of this movie immediately. He also comes to visit him soon. Bill meets the director with this prison's doctor and he asks if it can really be made? To which he answers yes, this is possible medically and he has talked to a hospital in which it can be done. He shows this report to the doctor on which he says that, yes, this is medically possible but it has a risk of infection. Therefore, all prisoners should be given vitamins or nutritional injection, then it is 100% possible. Hearing this, Bill agrees immediately. Butler says that teeth of prisoners shouldn't be extracted and a tube should be inserted in their mouths, through which the waste material of the next person goes into his mouth and the lips should be sewn. Instead of removing their knees ligaments, they should be injected so that they can be temporarily paralyzed. In spite of pulling their back skin, we should put leather straps on them, so that when they are set free, There's no scar. Bill agrees, but the director tells them that you guys can own my concept on one condition: that I'll also be there during operation. Bill makes him operation in charge. Bill calls his surgical teams because the operation was going to start soon. Bill thinks of showing this movie to the prisoners, and then he'll announce this operation to them, so that his fear may settle in their minds. But all prisoners get scared and attack Bill. Bill has to flee for his life. All prisoners go to Bill's office, but Bill goes and sits under a tree. Before rescue team's arrival, all prisoners attack his secretary and kill her. After some time, the police force comes there and lock prisoners back in jail. Bill brings his fainting gun and faints all the prisoners, and orders to make human centipede. According to the doctor, some men are not fitting in the human centipede. He calls Bill to check them. One of those patients has stoma, and he extracts his waste through an artificial hole in his abdomen. Bill puts his gun in this hole and kills him. He kills all those patients who are not eligible for the human centipede. Now, centipede operation was ready and the director comes there too. He sees this horrible operation in front of his eyes. Bill shows him another thing which was more horrifying than the centipede operation. The hands and feet of some prisoners were being separated from their bodies. Seeing this, the director starts vomiting. After some days, the world's biggest human centipede is made. Only then does the governor arrive to investigate the violence in the jail. But Bill shows him his human centipede, which was spread all over the field. Seeing this, the governor gets amazed, but Butler tells him that this punishment can save their money, as they'll not need to eat food and it will be easy to handle them. Nor will they commit any crime for the rest of their lives. Meanwhile, Butler sees Bill's secretary in human centipede, who is shown dead apparently. Bill ignores him by calling it a gender test. Now, Bill takes the governor to the prisoners who were sentenced to death. They were the same prisoners whose hands and feet were cut off, and they were transformed into limbless centipede. Bill then tells the governor that prisoners who have completed their punish will be removed from the centipede. There will be nothing but small marks on their lips and backs. Because of Bill's cruelty, the governor sentences him to death and go away. In anger, Bill kills the doctor and Butler. The governor comes again and tells him that his idea is so good. All goes to the field, ground, and shouts in front of prisoners happily.